Well, hey, welcome, Quest, to our video newsletter for this week. It's good to see you, and I just have a couple of things I want to share with you that I think are important. One is our Friday nights at the fight that was scheduled for May 19th has been postponed for a couple of different reasons. We will reschedule that, and I think it'll be really good, but we're going to take May off, and then we'll pick it up again. So the second thing I wanted to tell you about or encourage you towards was the women's ministry event that's on May 20th. It's going to be between 10 and 12, 10 in the morning and 12 noon. It's a place where you can come and you can purchase some jewelry. It's kind of redone jewelry, used jewelry that's been made new. Or you can bring some friends for that. Or you can come and just and offer some used jewelry that they could use in the future. But what this jewelry is all about is connected with a ministry called Monarch, which is connected with a ministry called Crisis Aid International. And it's a group around the country and really internationally that is fighting back against sex trafficking. Okay, now this issue of sex trafficking lies just under the surface in our culture. It is really aimed at the abusing of children for the purpose of sex around the world. And shockingly, or unfortunately, St. Louis is one of the top 6 cities in the United States where sex trafficking is a hub and is active. Washington, D.C. is the worst. Atlanta, Orlando, Sacramento are other places where it's a big deal. But, excuse me, the one here, the group here in St. Louis is huge. Sex trafficking aims, unfortunately, at young people between 14 and 16. They're in a modern day slavery where they are being used and abused by those who are their handlers. We would often call them Johns, but they're not Johns. They're actually incredibly evil people who are making money off these kids who have either been kidnapped or coerced into this private world of sex trafficking. Sex trafficking sits in a bigger context of human trafficking, which is true all around the world also. People who are being coerced and in a modern day slavery for work's sake. In fact, it's been reported here in the United States that recently they have found 10-year-olds working in fast food places until 2 in the morning, and they're being human trafficked. But the sex trafficking is really aimed at those who are young people who are being controlled by others. I've seen this around the world. And there's the broader picture would be prostitution, something like that, but this sex trafficking is incredibly ugly. And so we have people in our church who are connected with Monarch, who are connected with Crisis Aid International to fight back against this. So we want to honor some of the people in our church who are connected to this and involved in this because we think this is really important and valuable. And it obviously grieves the heart of God to have these young people exploited like this. It's a dangerous world, in fact. It's not kind. It is not safe. It is a horrific place. So, encourage you, not only, it's mainly aimed at gals, so women, we encourage you to come out, but guys, just think, this is something that's really important for us too, because the majority of people being sex trafficked are girls. And the users of those girls are men. And so we as men need to stand up and say no more. We'll not stand for this. We're going to fight back. We care. Now you may not want to come and buy jewelry. That's understandable. But how can we as men join the women of our church in standing against sex trafficking and standing with Monarch Jewelry and Crisis Aid International? How can we do that? Well, let's do it. Let's be aware. Let's not participate in anything that would encourage this in our culture, because we don't know much about it because it's kind of under the surface, right? But this, I think, is profoundly important. It would be on the heart of God to say no. No more. We're not going to allow it. Okay? So gals, May 20th, 10 in the morning till noon. Come and you'll be able to participate in all sorts of different ways. But I think this is really important. So thank you for your time. And let's stand for what is good and righteous in the world and not for that which is destructive and evil. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Be well.